Here's a question to ponder. Will a cartoon character ever win an Oscar for an acting performance? I'm not talking about the voice actor. I'm talking about the character itself. Alright, you can't really give an Oscar to a 3D model or a stack of paper, but still, think about it. How many times in your life have you watched some animation, and you had some kind of emotional reaction to it? Today, I'd like to explore what it takes to breathe that kind of life and emotion into a cartoon character, the art of character animation. Our case study today is Madame Medusa, the villain in the 1977 Disney film The Rescuers. This film is a far step from a classic, but Madame Medusa and her henchman Snoops have not only some of the best character animation in the entire film, but some of the best character animation in the history of film, at least in my opinion. Madame Medusa is energetic, emotional, inventive, and alive. Every one of her fantastically timed poses and little movements reflect her mannerisms, emotions, body shape, and vocal performance. In Disney animation, it's commonplace to divide the work of character animation by giving the workload of individual characters to separate teams, or, in special cases, a whole character to an individual animator. The character animator responsible for Madame Medusa's performance is none other than the legendary Milt Kahl. Milt was one of the most talented character animators to work with Walt Disney. He brought unbeatable draftsmanship to characters of any species, body type, age, and emotional tone. Madame Medusa was his final animating job at Disney, so he sought to make a masterpiece out of every shot she appeared in. To start, voice synchronization. The standard in Western animation is that voices are recorded before any animating begins. This allows the animators to give a deep connection between a character's speech and movement, as well as a reference for dramatic timing.
Who could be ringing at this time of night? Madame Medusa's pawn shop boutique?
Oh, boss.
Snoops! Don't tell me, Snoops. Let me guess. You found it. You've found the diamond. Give you time. You bungler. You have been down there for 3 months.
The most obvious place of synchronization here is her face and lips. Her expressions and mouth match to every syllable of her speech. Irritation at the phone ringing, answering the phone in a customer-friendly tone, excitement at Snoops being the caller, disappointment at Snoops, and anger at his incompetence. Let's look at the line she recites when picking up the phone.
Madame Medusa's pawn shop boutique.
I love the tilts of her head that accent the final 4 syllables of her sentence. Milt also notices how the final syllable of the word boutique raises in pitch, so he makes her upper lip move a bit higher than normal to match her pronunciation. What's fascinating is, no matter what a character is doing, no matter what angle their head is towards the camera, they will always have this much level of detail in their face as they're speaking. And speaking of bodies, Medusa's entire body synchronizes with her dialogue too.
You caught Penny sending messages in bottles?
Every word matches up with her leaving or entering a new pose. This is a nice window into how animating is done, starting primarily through poses. It's unrealistic to expect an animator to draw every individual frame for a shot, since even a few seconds of film can require hundreds of individual drawings. So, what happens is a key animator draws the keyframes that capture the essential poses for a sequence, and then other animators step in and create the in-betweens to smooth out the movement. Here are some very early illustrations for a shot where Medusa pulls up a stool to a mirror to remove her makeup. Despite how rough these are, Medusa's character shines right through them. We can really feel the frustration she feels in this scene, and we can also see how her pear-shaped body influences how she sits down and scoots the stool. Once the animator has added more detail and other animators come in to give those in-betweens and to clean up the overall picture, the penciling will look something more like this. Disney films are most commonly animated at 24 frames per second, so the entire contents of this page represent only half a second of screen time. In these cleaned up illustrations, we can see that her process of sitting down is more fleshed out. She uses her arm as an axis to revolve herself around the stool until she lands in the seat. You can see this level of attention to Medusa's anatomy and center of gravity in every individual frame for this character. And what makes that especially impressive is the fact that Milt used no references to draw Medusa whatsoever. It's standard for Disney films to record video of live-action actors performing the roles of all human-like characters. The animators then take this footage and use it for reference. But Milt never did this when animating for The Rescuers. Instead, he relied on his extensive knowledge of anatomy that he acquired during his 50-year-long career animating at Disney. To conclude this video, I'd like to show you one more sequence. If my professorial intuition is correct, Milt animates Medusa, Snoops, and the crocodiles in this sequence. Focus on everything we've discussed today. Detailed and varied facial expressions, aesthetically pleasing poses and choreography that moves characters through their emotional range, a constant awareness of the body shapes and centers of gravity, and amplification of the vocal performance through coordinated movement. One more thing to think about is the interplay between characters, such as Snoops pulling off Medusa's shoe, or Medusa attacking him with her stick. A cartoon character will never win an Oscar, but I at least hope the art of character animation can win your appreciation.
Diamond.
I don't know, but just look at these beauties that she brought up from the cave. Oh, they'll sell for a lot of cold cash. Ow! Oh, I wish you wouldn't do that.
She's insane. Utterly mad.
I want that diamond. I've got to have the devil's eye. You didn't leave the girl down in the cave long enough.
She won't take orders.
You are too soft.
But the water was rising and the tide was coming in, and all she did down there was fuss about her teddy bear getting wet.
Snoops, you don't have a way with children. You must gain their confidence, make them like you.
Yeah? How do you do that?
You force them to like you, idiot! At the next low tide, I'm going to put her down there, myself, and keep her there until she finds it, and it is as simple as that.
Oh, it's simple as that, is it? Well, you're the boss, boss.
Yes. Now come along, Betsy Pooh.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to check out my YouTube channel for other videos similar to this one. This was a very basic exploration of character animation, so in the future I likely will go into more depth in another video. I also have a fancy Tumblr blog that you should check out, where I post even more stuff about animation, comics, and other stuff. Until the next video, however, this humble professor wishes you the best.